Hi friends, welcome back. So as promised, I have made a video on 2024 forecast or prediction, and because I've made these predictions in the past surrounding the what can you expect like in the next month type of readings, I decided I'm gonna split the reading in sections, meaning that I will go about and I will address four, if not like five, because first sphere of your life, I have decided it will be about love, relationships, romantic interests, and all of the stuff from that domain. If you're single or with someone, I'll see how I'll deal with the cards because usually they tell a story, and I'll be most inclined to tell the story for like from the reading and from the energy that I see, but I will try to adjust and see how it works for you in your specific situation. The second sphere of life will be about your career. This will be about all the situations, energy surrounding your workspace, what you can expect from your work life in the future, in the upcoming year. The next will be money. What can you expect, like all about finances, what will happen with money, how you will, what can you expect from that, from money, or how much money you will have, basically. I guess that's self-explanatory. And the last section will be about challenges and what can you expect to come across, or what obstacles and what like lessons you'll go about learning in this next year. And you will have some oracle cards in the center of the reading. These will be the major themes, or the more so like general energies that will be surrounding the next year, and what can you expect from it as well. So I guess that's all for the explanation, and the rest I will tell you. It will be about the four stones I have chosen for the four piles. The first pile is linked to, I always forget this stone, so this is Labradorite, okay. Second pile will have picture jasper. Third pile will have clear quartz. And the last pile, number 4, will have the tiger's eye. So a little trigger warning in here. So if you are expecting to see only good stuff from my readings, that is of course reasonable and normal and valid. But I tend to go into this shadow, like realm, shadow spectrum of the things that I come across. So all for your greatest good. I will try to highlight not only the pleasant things, and I'll try to help you navigate the information that I give you. Nonetheless, anything or everything you hear in the reading is focused around helping you understand yourself, your situations, and specific aspects of your life. It being relationships, money, whatever the case may be for you. So I think that's all. I will start the reading with the Labradorite stone and the card. Something else, and I guess new, that happened to this reading is that I mentioned, I observed actually, noticed, yeah, that's the word. Some cards fell like on one position, 2 cards, or even 3 cards, or in some cases, even 4 cards fell. And I decided I'm going to include them in the reading. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I guess the cards were a little bit mischievous with me this time. And I decided like let's not be rigid and only stick to one card. So if you happen to come across like one pile being with some chaotic cards surrounding the base ones, then that's completely fine. That was intended. The message is important, so I guess the reading shouldn't suffer from that. So I will see each of you in the timestamps allotted to you. I will be as well indicating them in the comment section right after I post it and edit the intro, whatever. So yeah, you will be looking for the timestamps in the commentary section, the pinned comment. So let's begin the reading with the pile number 1. Okay, pile number 1. So you'll have this dark theme. I only noticed this time that I've turned the lights off and lighted up some candles and the lamp. But yeah, this pile will be more so like in the dark theme. But yeah, doesn't matter really. Let's see. Um, with what shall I begin? I guess with a general theme. So you have expect powerful change. The next year, I don't know if you're really that person to compare years and how they were different from one another, but in your case, I see change. I see extreme change because of this card, like expect powerful change. This is not a usual card to expect or to encounter in the reading. That means, for me, things how they went so far, they will not be in this manner. They will not continue that way. So there is like unrooting energies or change or huge change. Because of the botanist card, I can say, while you have this like powerful change, this reminds me of the situation where, for example, you are in a different like setup of circumstances, and now you have to like adjust and behave yourselves differently, or it's like a change of a setup, change of an atmosphere, change of places. So yeah, it seems to me like if you were going through some themes, like basic themes in your life, like this past year, or if you had some repetitive like circumstances, the next year will be much more different, in the sense of the next year feels to me for this pile will kickstart some changes. And the changes I feel for this pile will be in regards to this botanist card. It says in here parenthood and legacy. So let me catch my breath. So the botanist card for me is a really growth card. Like you could be setting foundations in the next year. You could be as well immersed into some like growing activity, because the botanist card is all about like something needs to be taken care of for it to grow. So this could be investing time in a project. This could be investing time in your kids as well. Or giving them your presence like more in a more accentuated like manner. Or this could be as well, for me it feels like nurturing someone, nurturing a situation, nurturing yourself as well. And this is like the flower you see in here. This is of course at the base of the card a growing process. So this means you will not have in the next year like the end result, or if you set intentions or if you start a project, you will not have the results right away. That means the botanist is card is inviting you to take care and accept the growing process as natural as it is, and try not to force it or not to impose expectations upon it. Okay, so I guess this comes like a little warning in here, you to be really attentive and to allow the process of whatever it is that you're doing to unfold. That means, for example, if you are oriented towards like achieving success or money, for example, from a project or from nurturing something like a project, for example, don't be fixated upon you controlling everything or trying to figure out how you will go about delivering that success to you. This is more so like a trusting process and allowing the right circumstances to nurture your project, you, whatever it is that you're working on, and to not solely depend on your own like forces, and like give it your best shot, but not be attached to the actual like expectations. Because I see like with this pile, you might be trying to grow something, but like it's like this rigidity of like I want to see it happen in a very specific way. So this will not this will not work. in the sense of you will not expect it, like it will grow in ways you don't know, and it will grow in ways you don't expect, and that is completely fine. I'm hinting to the fact that this is a growth process, so most likely the growth is happening, like whether it is even healing in this case, even if you don't see it happening, like even if you don't register it, it is more so taking your best, like giving it your best shot and letting go. Like this pile will have to let go, and most likely with powerful change, things will interfere or you'll be intercepted by many things that will actually direct you in the right direction with that thing. So I feel there will be guidance in here. You've got as well the mirror card, I guess. I mean, I remember this was the first card, and the second is Keepers of the Earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. So I'm always like rumbly. That's. I guess if you are a subscriber, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah. So who or what is triggering you is the question for the mirror card. And I want you to really think, or maybe even feel the situation with this botanist card or with this expect powerful change. Think about your expectations. Think about the way in which you want something to happen so desperately, and ask yourself whether it is happening, like whether this intention is coming from an authentic place, and whether you're trying to create or manufacture an experience to make you feel better, um, at the expense of running from yourself or running from your emotions. So with mirror, I feel like for this pile, you'll have the message of, be really attentive, be really introspective about your actions, and see that your intent is not misguided, or that you want something, but with, like, if you want success or you want money, check whether your intention is pure or whether it's coming from a negative emotional state. Because if that's the case, then I feel like for this pile, this is the best like information you need to get for this growth and for this organic like unfolding of the process to take place, like with the botanist. Or yeah, I guess like don't be hyper fixated on something, because it will happen on its own with this powerful change card. Okay, let me check how many minutes I have been rambling about. Okay, 7 minutes. That's a lot. Okay. Okay, let's go and see. Okay, with the Keepers of the Earth, I forgot to say that you don't have to be alone. You don't have to perceive yourself alone or singular in this universe. Or if this doesn't resonate for many of you, you'll have to understand not to actually orchestrate and think of everything to go right, or to not control everything into your life. Let go, yeah, like let go and let God. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And be more gentle with the process, like be more gentle with yourself and with the process itself of like achieving what you want to achieve, and fall in love with the process, not with the journey or with the destination. Okay, let's move on to the great spheres of life. The first, as I promised, will be about love. Okay, so you've got the poem card, Judgment, Eight of Swords, and money. Okay, so let's address this from the standpoint of, let's say you're single. Okay, so with the poem card, this could be written messages, or this could be like an admirer. The poem for me is like expression of love in a written form, or someone writing a poem about you. This doesn't have to mean that someone wrote a poem about you, but this can happen, of course. I'm just saying that someone could write you something or could let you know that you are really precious to them, or that they love you. So look out for this in the next year, I guess. But I see in here either a conversation or a very like fiery conversation of sorts, where you exchange messages and someone like expresses their love. Like for me, this card in this context feels to me like someone will be expressing their love to you. Okay, standpoint single, Eight of Swords. If you are single and you're looking for someone, the fact that you are single, most likely with the Eight of Swords, is your own contribution to this fact. So that means this card is all about setbacks that we place or we have been like imprinted with, and like we ended up being a little bit entangled. Or you could feel conflicted, or you could feel really uncomfortable with the idea of relationships in general in this situation. I will not forget that when I drew the card for this pile, the first thing that came out was the blank card, which you will see from behind these two. So I feel like this pile doesn't really know what they want. Like if you're single, this could apply if you're in relationships as well. But yeah, I'll address that in a minute. So Eight of Swords means, like the blank card, first of all, means maybe you don't know what you want, or you don't know what to expect, or you feel really like a blank slate in that regard. This is all about you stepping and changing the status quo, or really finding what is actually um, preventing you from achieving this relationship. I will not be surprised if this pile is these types of people who expect a relationship to summon itself up out of nowhere, and people to want a relationship but not really like be the one to initiate or to even be available or to search for it. So it feels to me like this pile would most likely, especially with the poem, want to receive love, but yeah, I feel like I'm not ready, or I don't want to make the first move, you know. The Judgment card says to me in this context that either you'll be thrown in situations where you will have to do that, or that you will be learning how to take initiative and say, like, you know, there is no better time than right now. Um, yeah, and money card, like, this is great. Like, I immediately as I saw the poem card and the money card, I was like, okay, this is great news. For this pile, you'll just have to be a little bit more proactive. You'll have to excuse my blathering because that seems to be happening when I have like a surge of emotions, but you know, you'll get the raw me. That's like the deal. But yeah, the judgment card, like the major arcanas in general, and for this case, things will happen out of your control, and it feels to me like in this case, most likely you will be placed in situations where you will either have to or have to interact with people, or have to be the one to expose yourself, to communicate, and to show yourself to the world. Like I seen here a hesitance, um, like you're hesitating to actually enter a relationship if you're single. But when you will achieve that, like I feel this year, if you achieve that state of like I am willing to make the first steps, or to find at least why it is that I'm wanting love but I'm not taking the first steps, I feel like you will have immediate success afterwards. Like with this money card, like you will have results in this category, you know. And it's not like you will be left in this state. Like if you are alone, you will not be left in this state for very long, because the judgment is like a wake-up call or a call for action. And most likely it will come from unexpected places. For example, these these messages remind me of situations where, for example, I didn't want to be exposed to the world, but yet I was, and somehow like I still was okay and managed to make friends, even though I wasn't expecting that, you know. So for this pile as well, maybe you will not expect it, but for some reason you will end up like there. And I feel like there is a potential for you to not be single in the next year if you are, and that basically you are to await like a success in that endeavor of like you finding someone. The greatest like obstacle in this case will be yourself, or where it is that you don't want the relationship, or where it is that you are avoiding yourself, or avoiding the responsibility or the thought or having a relationship basically. Okay, um, now let's address this same column of cards in the idea of, let's say you are with someone. poem. So this is outward expression of love. Basically, that's what I'm seeing. Eight of Swords, this could be that you might be feeling a little bit stagnant in the relationship you are with, and Judgment, you can expect change. Blank card, expect change from where you didn't see it. And money will be a factor for this card, for this pile, in the sense of if you are someone, money could determine something in this case. Whether someone will be taking someone else on the date, or someone will be spending money on the other person as a means to express and show love. This could as well be the case. Changes in relationships, stuff surfacing, coming up to the surface and wanting to be addressed, setbacks in relationships, and you found love as well. In this case, like you finding new bonds. Oh, sorry, that's like so far up there, like so distracted. So renewing the bond you already have. That's what I was seeing. And change coming from places you didn't expect because of the blank card. And with the money, yeah, I feel depth. Like there is going to be a moment in time where you'll feel like deepening the relationship, for example, or there has been like stagnancy. Like if you're someone with another person, like if you're in a relationship, then that means it's time for you in this next year to address and to work stuff up, because it feels to me like with the Judgment card it's pretty unavoidable. And that, deep down inside, you have to know with this poem card that the person you're with really values and treasures you, even if they're showing it or not. The poem card for me in this case is like a secret love letter that is written in their heart. Like this is what I'm feeling. And with the money card as well, the setbacks are there. That's not like, I will not say that they're not there, but with the poem and money card, I want to say like hidden treasure, or a wait for the right circumstance to show up, or for the right words to come up, because it feels to me like the person you are with actually like considers you to be really valuable, but it is not very apparent or on the surface. Okay, next sphere of life will be career in the next year, and you have the hidden key. Three of Pentacles in reverse. This is going to be message in reverse, and as well, give me a second. So that's like melody in reverse. Okay, let me first consider the first message and then I'll move on and say the rest. The hidden key, career. This could be long-term like setbacks you have been experiencing, or hidden key is like the dissatisfaction at work. You may have been coming across, coming like through situations of like lack of cooperation with the Three of Pentacles, especially with this representation in here. So this talks to me about like things not working in your favor, but with the Messenger card and the Melody card in reverse, I feel like you will have a better outlook on your work life. And because of the Three of Pentacles, I want to say that it feels to me there is going to be a situation where you'll be having to work alone, but this will not be to your detriment. So this could be the case of someone not getting well with the other people at work, but this somehow will play in your favor. So the hidden key as well in this context will mean that maybe, just maybe, consider the fact that things were working, like things were going wrong, and the answers or the piece was not there for a reason, and there will be a turnaround and you will see the benefit in the long run because of the hidden key. So it's like something which is hidden in plain sight, or for example, I will not lie, this comes to me like as antagonism for some reason, and because it's the Three of Swords and this like very mm, colorful representation in this case, and it is all like a setup for your own good, but it's like a very, it's not what it seems. So as I said, like, you could be experiencing setbacks or really uncomfortable situations, but in the end you will see why it happened and that it happened to your greatest good. For example, actually I don't even know what example should I give in this case, but okay, let me think, and yeah, I'll come up with this one. Let's imagine you have three people you don't get along with, and you're like this fourth one, like fourth person. You basically come to the room, into the room, and yeah, like feel the energy there. You don't like these people, and maybe you get in an argument with them, and as a result, like things like get a little bit sour, and it's like this passive aggressive like energy in the air. But as a result, these people kind of get fed up and say, like, we have to separate, or maybe we have to find ways in which to not be as like in close proximity with one another, or another person, like for example, your boss decides to place you in a different position, and this position ends up to be much more likable and much more reasonable than the one you were working on, and it happened merely because of this conflict. So you can expect a conflict or some disagreement in your work life to bring you some sort of relief, or to bring you some sort of like unexpected joy. That's what I was like feeling in here for this pile. Um, this feels to me like this will be more immediate, like message, but let's address this from the standpoint of forecast for the 2023 4. Okay, hidden key. So career, you don't have to expect to figure everything out. So this could be temporary work. This could be situations where you don't understand what's happening or lack of clarity, but hidden key tells me in the end you will receive the insights, you will receive the answer, you will receive everything you need to know in this situation. And it feels to me like this work life situation will be more so in your greatest good for your own like growth. um in this case, Three of Pentacles as well feels to me like this could be a change of atmosphere, this could be a change of co-workers, meaning that someone might be going away, or you might be experiencing someone like leaving work permanently. In this case, like I feel having new people come to the workplace, and them being either replaced or like them going away by their own like free like accord, or whatever the case may be. That's what I'm feeling like the forecast for it. But yeah, it's like a decent, or hardly it's a decent, like uncomfortable situation, but it's like a reasonable discomfort or an acceptable discomfort you might be experiencing at work, but it's all in the limits of it's all right, or I can handle it, or I can lay these burdens down and consider this a growing experience. That's what I'm seeing in here. With the messenger card in reverse, expect news, expect changes, expect some information and stuff to happen that will not be like, you will not expect it. But as I said, hidden key for your greatest good, um, even if you are aware of this or if you are not, you know. Melody card, interesting. I love this card is in reverse, because if it would be upright, I would be like a little bit in trouble in here saying things. But if you've had situations, so this goes in many ways actually, but if you've had like for example, chronic fatigue, in this case you will learn how to lift it off, or you will learn how to fix it, or how to deal with this chronic fatigue, or let's say exhaustion. Um, in the next year with this melody card, you will not be as stressed out, like at this point of clarity that I have described, things changing in your favor. I feel like in this case, you will feel much more refreshed or freer somehow. Like this pile might be actually experiencing a lot of vacation time or free time in general in this next year in regards to their career life, but it will not happen right away with this hidden key. So it's like delayed gratification in this case, like no matter how much I try to look at it, but it's like, please expect things to be to some degree uncomfortable, then know that this is all temporary, and at the end of the tunnel there is actually light, no matter how uncomfortable this may be. And this pile could as well be very much exhausted, tired, or really fed up with situations at work. And I see an apex, or how do you even say that? Like yeah, like a culmination point in your discomfort at work being accompanied by things subtly, very subtly coming into your favor in alignment, like with your own like best interests. Okay, yeah, I wasn't expecting I was going to make a reading for a pile for 26 minutes and more. But yeah, I'm doing it. Money. Next card. You've got the card Sky. You have the Four of Swords and the Widow. So I don't know if I can call this exciting or not. It really depends on the person who's watching, but with the Sky, Four, and Widow, I feel like this pile will have to save up, or they will be saving up, or you will have more money than you expect, and therefore you will be placing it in the piggy bank, some sort of situation like this. With the Sky card, this could be investment in some sort of dream, or this could be as well investment in like a trip or something that you really wanted to buy for a very long time. With the Four of Swords, this will be like more so like being very attentive and restrictive to your money in the sense of like, let me save it. And with the Widow, it feels to me like if you enjoy, who enjoys really restriction, but yeah, if you enjoy like delaying your happiness for like this thing that you wanted to buy for a long time, maybe you'll be saving money and you'll be thinking like the day where I will be able to afford it finally came. So this could be a very significant, with the Sky, like very significant purchase for this pile. Like this next year, I feel like for this pile will be about saving money to buy something huge. So when I say something huge, this really of course depends for you, because with the Sky, this is very personal and personalized to the person who's watching. That means if you really wanted like a fragrance, like you will afford it, you will buy it. Someone will be buying a car. Someone will be buying a ticket or more tickets to a really like expensive trip somewhere, because the Sky is as well, like the whole world is open to you. This is like a big purchase. I don't know what kind of purchase for you it will be, but I feel like with the Four Swords, let me save the money. Like, let me save the money for this moment. And with the Widow, maybe I'll feel a little bit restricted, but hell, I know that I will be happy when I will be spending the money for the right thing. Then, yeah, like I wanted this for so long. Like, I feel using money in this context for the achievement of some sort of gratification or something you wanted to buy from like a very, very, very long time. And I feel like this will be like a very interesting like achievement moment. So yeah, I feel like you'll have to save up money. I don't know why. This is what I'm seeing. Okay, lots of cards in the challenges, and I guess this is wanting to surface and tell you something. You have the insecure lady. So you could be dealing with stuff from the past in this case, because you've got as well the Six of Cups. So this is the card of the past. willingly, unwillingly, you'll be having to show up into your life because of the Knight of Wands and finding why you don't want to show up in different circumstances or spheres of your life. You have in here the gift card and merriment. So I feel like in this case, like the immediate like message I got when I was even taking out the cards was this pile is holding themselves back from their own happiness. Six of Cups, Wheel of Fortune reversed. So I feel like for this pile, there is insecurity. Like there is as well, see how it resonates for you, of course, wounded feminine energy because of the Lady card. And the insecurity, and with all the story I was trying to tell you in here, it's like you placing obstacles in your path, not being aware of it, and not being spontaneous or really stopping or restricting your energy because of this insecurity, stagnation, or like blockages in your life. And it feels to me like it is self-made, like, and it's coming from the past for some reason, or that you'll have to work through some issues or things that will surface that will help you realize your true nature. And this, as a result, will unlock with the Wheel of Fortune, first of all, luck. With the Insecure card, this will unlock confidence. Knight of Wands will be unlocking how you will be more proactive in manifesting your desires and showing up for yourself in this world for the sake of you enjoying your life. I feel like this will be a big time thing for this pile as well in the next year. Gifts and merriment will be, you will be finding out why you are unhappy, or you will be more self-loving with a gift card, or you will be allowing yourself to spend money, time, energy on yourself without feeling guilty. I feel like this pile is relearning to love themselves, is relearning to let go of some imprinting from the past, especially as I said with the Six of Cups, and deliberately choosing to be happy despite the things that they were taught or despite the experiences that they went through. And this is a great card, the Knight of Wands, because I feel like you'll be inviting more action, flexibility, and spontaneity in your life. Because the Knight is like, especially the Knight of Wands, this is quick action. And this is liberating because it's liberating you from a lot of stagnation in your life and seeing that you're actually holding yourselves in this like jar, or you're restricting yourselves from your own like happiness for some reason, and it's all coming from this window of the past, which is being represented by the Six of Cups. And you know, if you could get only a little bit out of your head, and I know this is not easy because obviously I've been through the same and I'm still going through the same thing, but if you learn that, you know, the actual world and the filter you place on it, or how you perceive the world out of your like imprinting or your negative emotions, these two are completely different worlds. And if you somehow manage to get at the end and see the world how it is without it being influenced by your emotional states, for example, you will see and unlock new dimensions of happiness, joy, spontaneity that were inaccessible to you prior to you discovering this perception. So I will be working on myself. Especially I was doing maybe introspection work, or I was finding ways in which I can go about and really find peace and resolution with my past. Okay, so I think that's all for this pile. You have your cards explained in here. I hope I did a great job in here. That was a very lengthy video, but I guess I'm really satisfied with the things that I have just told you. Don't think that you're alone. because of this Keepers of the Earth card, expect powerful change in the next year and grow yourself, grow your projects, nurture yourself, and don't control everything around you. I think that's all I needed to say for this pile. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If it did resonate, then please make sure to comment and like. This will make sure to remind me that it's working and it was of use to you. Of course, if you want that, I don't want to force things, so that's the deal. And if you're not subscribed already, then please do so, because I release more content like this. I like to dive deep, basically. So yeah, I really hope to see you in the future. Take care. See you in the next video. Bye. Hello and welcome to your reading pile number 2. You chose the picture jasper stone, and I will start by addressing the center, which is going to be the general energy surrounding the next year. And yeah, I guess I'll see what comes to the table. First two cards, the tailor and the sailor. The tailor says attention to detail and pride, while the sailor says new influences and wanderlust, as well as void of course moon, which says nothing will come out of this situation in reverse, and dance with life, do something to change your energy. Okay, the first thing that comes to mind with the sailor card, of course, it's going to be a very locomotion type of year, meaning that there will be lots of action and you can expect travel. If this is not travel, you can expect to move around places. Like if you are not used to, for example, moving a lot because of work, for example, or if you are a person to be more sedentary in the style of living, I feel like for this pile, you'll have more opportunities to change places, to move around, to go, maybe travel as well. And this could as well mean that maybe the next year will not be so much about like staying home or staying in one place. Because the sailor, of course, the ship cards are always about this. I've always came across them, and it was about the message of like moving places, trips, travels. This could as well be something related to sea, meaning that maybe for this pile they will have an interaction with the sea, like specifically traveling to the sea or traveling by sea or across the sea, something like along the lines of this. With new influences and wanderlust, I can expect to say that, you can expect new things and fresh starts in this next year. Of course, maybe this is more a cliche message, but I feel like this is a rebirth, especially with nothing will come out of this situation. So if you are someone who is particularly struggling with low moods or depression, or nothing good will come out of life. Dance with life is your like partner card, because it says you will harness, or you will reach a new level of wanting to live, wanting to participate in your life more, like in a more proactive manner. And it feels to me like the next year will push you to do that, simply because you will be intercepted by some circumstances as well, who will push you to basically not stand still, or you will be a little bit forced out of your comfort zone in the good way, and you'll find out that you felt better as a result. The Taylor card. I wanted to first say that with the Dance with Life, you will have like, maybe you live in past scenarios, maybe you live in past situations or relationships, and with this Dance with Life, it will feel like you will be more present or more grounded in the present moment, and not so much so like centered around what happened. Maybe you will find a way to come at peace with your past, with a past like relationship. And maybe for this pile as well, I feel like you will discover that life is so much more about like you being happy and not being stuck. Like, for example, it feels to me like this could be a situation with vengeance or with wanting to snap back or something like this. It feels to me like with the Dance with Life, you will discover that the energy you invest in the past or in these situations, you will decide for yourself that you are done, or that you have had enough, and that it is much more wonderful to focus on your life and on your happiness rather than to construct your life in accordance with some like vengeance, like with some idea of justice, or wanting to make people suffer the consequences, something along the lines of this. Because it feels to me like the person who's watching is really powerful as a character. With the Taylor as well, I want to say, your character seems to be very neatly like constructed and very complex, and there's nothing will come out of this situation. And with the depression thing that I have mentioned, it feels to me like the depth, the complexity, like the structure of your character is way too precious for it to be centered around something that is not benefiting you, and the sailor as well, like it feels to me the next year you will have the joy of life, you will have the joy of living, and you will discover a life that is being viewed from a completely different perspective, one that is not focused or concentrated around the negative aspect, like the negative aspects in general. Dance with life reminds me as well of creativity and art. Maybe it is a nudge for you to explore artistic things. Of course, if that resonates with you, that's completely fine. If not, then yeah, I guess find your hobby or construct your life with something that makes you feel passionate, because the tailor is like this energy of someone cutting the bits that are completely unnecessary, or someone like refining. Like the refinery process is going to take place with the pile number 2, and this refinery, metaphorical refinery, will make you much less susceptible to depression, apathy, if you are struggling with that. Or if you're not struggling with that and it doesn't resonate, this could be the fact that you'll be more focused around what's working. You'll be more focused around the states of your being that make you aspire to a better future, or that make you feel like, let's be discerning, what should I need, like what do I need to cut off from my life for me to feel better, or what do I need to adjust, or what intention should I adjust for me to not feel like I am concentrating on something that is not functioning. So I feel this pile might have been stuck in the past, or this past year was challenging, specifically in regards to you being focused on the negatives, or you not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and specifically because this nothing will come out of this situation card is in reverse. I want to say this is going to be more so a recuperation, regeneration of forces, and you being like more focused on living for yourself, for your own happiness, and not for someone else's like demise. Or and it's completely fine if you're resonating with that. I'm not placing blame, because every reading I can find things that I resonate with, and that is completely something I agree, because I'm as well very susceptible to this pattern. But what I'm trying to say in here is like, I was having a discussion with ChatGPT, and basically it says that it is not worth investing in a life that is creating a narrative of like getting revenge, maybe, or getting someone to basically acknowledge stuff, and that's like for a lot of situations in life. And I thought that it is necessary to acknowledge the emotions and to be present with them and to validate them, but not be focused on um, the past, not be focused on the narrative of me wanting to get the people that I don't like, for example, or for me to demonstrate something. So, this is an approach that is urging you to step into a new version of yourself, into a new version of your life. And it's all about like refining your life. Lots of like with the travel aspect, like the sailor, it feels to me like you are not going to be given the opportunity to sit in whatever state it is, or to be stuck, basically, because sitting with emotions and basically lengthening the suffering is two different things. But what I want to say, the sailor, is as if the universe will push you out of your like comfort zone where you used to be, or where you used to indulge, maybe, as strange as it sounds, in these like situations or states where you want to get back at the people from your past. Okay. um okay, we are moving to the first section of this reading, which is going to be representative to the aspect of love in the upcoming year. You have the two cards, the fresh and the ambitious, the five of wands in reverse and desire card in reverse. Right off the bat, the energy I felt: someone wants to fight for you, but it feels to me like either you have given up on this connection, because five of wands in here, as if you are not necessarily wanting to bring that connection back. Or with the ambitious and the fresh, it's going to be a fresh start as well in love and romance. I want to say that, like, I decided to address this section in two ways. First of all, this is going to be for singles, and the information I got, it's like for the singles, this pile, okay? But I will address for the if you are with someone as well. So for the singles, ambitious and fresh, great success in finding and dating new people. If you want to invest yourself and find ways to meet new people, this is going to be a very fruitful, or the circumstances or the people are going to be very generous, because I feel like you are at the juncture point where you are going to be able to meet new people, new connections, new depths of connections as well. Or it's just about like finding, yeah, just finding new connections. That's like with the fresh and ambitious, and the ambitious as well. Either it be you or the people will be very eager to connect with you. And as a little shadow in here, I just want to say, if you are not necessarily ambitious about this, then it is an invitation for you to find out why, and to be more ambitious about finding new people, finding new circumstances, situations. Because with the fresh, like, I want to say, you definitely are going to have success in this endeavor. Five of Wands. Five of Wands, specifically in the traditional deck, it's all about conflict and different needs. I think in this case, if you are a little bit slowed, or if you're not ready for this dating thing, maybe it is about you finding your priorities, what it is that makes you stand out, but as well, like, find the priorities that you share with people. For example, this specifically comes to mind, like you finding yourselves in the activities that you like and consider to be really valuable, and find ways to connect to new people within these activities. Because the five of wands, like especially the ones, it's all about passion and inspiration, and energy and drive. So this could be the case of someone who needs to invest more in their passions and drives, um, to see what drives them like in life, and maybe find a common bridge or a common ground with the people that you will find like the common ground with. And not compromising. For example, this card talks about, like, as well for the forecast, I guess more so this is a advice, but don't go for the dating pool with the idea that you wanna fit like the person you're with, but make them fit you in a way. Meaning that if you are using apps, or if you are just knowing people in general, don't be afraid to show your true self, and be authentic in the way you present your needs. Maybe you present your passions as well, because five of wands as well. And don't be afraid to be different or to differentiate yourself from the crowd. This approach is more personalized, I recognize, because it involves, I guess, like writing a description or a bio that is more so focused around something that is truthfully reflecting your quality or your passion. For example, Don't be like everyone else, or differentiate yourself, and you'll find better matches. Like you'll find better choices in the dating pool in general, like with the ambitious, the fresh. Like you will have success either way, but in this case is being more open about yourself and about who you are, and not being afraid to show yourself the real you to the world. With the desire card, I want to say this pile, I have a feeling like you are going to be noticed by a lot of people, but either it be that you are not going to be needing them, not wanting them, not accepting them being out of your league as well. But with the desire card, I want to say you attract a lot of attention. Um, that is going to be a message resonating with you, attract in general a lot of attention, but in the next year especially, you are going to be attracting a lot of attention to you. Lots of people are going to admire you from the shadows. It feels to me like more so you'll have admirers that you're not going to be very aware of, but with the desire it will feel like in it's flipped. So it's going to be a sense of, I want to be with them, but somehow they are not going to be my match, or people feel like a little bit um, out of your league. That's what I feel. And with the five of wands, I want to say if you're single, it's okay. Like if you are struggling in general with the dating and stuff like that, and you're still single and it's been really rough, it's completely understandable. It's completely fine. It's really hard to find a worthy match, especially when you have an attitude of wanting to find a person who is real, and you don't, especially like when you don't want to just have fun and live a very short um, fairy tale type of situation where you just are in for the emotions, but they are really fleeting. And therefore, you can expect to build relationships in a little bit more like different way, but I assure you, with the first two cards, fresh and success, like ambitions, um, you will have your prize of you'll have your prize for this section. And most definitely this pile, I don't feel like you're going to be like you will end up alone. No, this is not the case. It's just more so investing more energy in that, and with ambitious, like creating this like goal for you finding the person. And when you'll find that, when you'll find what prevents you from doing that, then you will achieve what you want. Now, let's address this from the standpoint of you being with someone. You have the ambitious and the fresh. Okay, so that is indicating a new start, a new chapter in your love life. Despite the situation, how it may pan out for you, I feel like again with the fresh start energy, like especially with the other cards, Tailor, Sailor, whatever, situations will force you to change, will force you to change your partnership, will force and introduce new changes to your partnership in general. If you have been quarreling, if you have been in conflicts with your person, five of wands means that you will be either reconciliating or finding ways to separate, but in a very peaceful, or for some even invisible manner, meaning that you'll be finding ways to deal with your stuff, and that person will as well not interfere, or they will seek ways to make their own stuff work. That's what I see in here. um, I believe the first two cards are good things to encounter because it's like this like fresh energy that's coming to the table. Five of Wands, especially it being in reverse, it's a good sign of peace and not quarreling. But as well as could as like this could signify a pause. This could signify a separation of sorts where you just explore your own like directions, and that person does this thing as well. Or it's a boundary thing, meaning that maybe you will be more they will be more respectful towards your boundaries, and you being as well more respectful towards their boundaries, and lots of conflicts being avoided as a result. Desire, so I'll not lie, this in the context of the two people, Desire could be things being a little bit more stagnant, but like the spark is there. I want to bring the relationship a new dimension of, like, let's say feelings of, like, or desire. But it feels to me like there were some conflicts or situations that are preventing, like there are lots of baggages, maybe stuff that needs to be sorted, that need to be sorted out before this like desire feeling is ready to surface. Like it feels to me like your partner could want a new start, could want to make things better for you, for both of you, but for some reason it's not yet there, it's not yet happening. And it's because of this like misunderstanding. Like I sense a misunderstanding, and with the fresh ambitious, some person could come up and want to resolve things and maybe apologize as well, or at least if not that, then make things better, like than they were previously. Okay, for the next section, which is going to be your career and your work life, we have the haunted. Let me tell you, there is a psychological thing that is interfering in here, especially with this card, because it says, for me individually, like there is a situation at your work which is making you really feel stressed, or that is reoccurring or is haunting you, meaning that maybe you experience a lot of stress, or like, of course, a lot of people experience stress at work, but what I'm saying in here, there is a specific situation that is always like reoccurring and is triggering. And in this case, it feels to me like more so it's a psychological thing, and it's not necessarily like reflecting the reality of things. I would examine what am I projecting upon my work life, or what fear or what worst scenario I'm afraid of happening for this pile. You have as well the magician card. Um, as well, what I wanted to mention with the haunted, in the next year, maybe you'll find a new way to deal with the haunted aspect, like with the triggering aspect, and you finding ways to secure yourselves more, or to be more so at peace with the results, or letting go maybe. The magician card is a really powerful card, meaning that there is lots of mobility in the area of career and work, like your job. With the magician, this means there are many more options that maybe you are not aware of, that maybe this case is of someone who doesn't fully realize their resources, or in the next year with the magician card you'll have an unlocking of some advantages at your workspace, and this haunted thing is going to be basically fading with this newfound like magician card. Careful with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse to not overly indulge in that, or maybe not exploit or abuse your advantages. But with the magician card, I just want to say, like, you can feel pretty flexible in the next year, especially in regards to career, because you know you will be finding ways to deal and manage with things that you previously never thought of. And with the Knight of Pentacles, I want to say, like, don't miss this opportunity, or don't overuse it, or don't use it in an undiscerning way. For example, I don't even know what example to give, but if you find an advantage at your work life, or if you find a way to make more money, or if you find a new like tactic to bring in more money, don't use it in an abusive way. With the Knight of Pentacles, be more so long-term oriented towards the idea of your job. And if that job, if especially in this pile, if you are feeling like haunted by your work, and if you are feeling dissatisfied with your work, aside from looking at the psychological aspects, this could be like finding ways to either switch, change something, or maybe go to another work. Of course, if you feel stable and if you know what you're choosing, because Um, the next cards are a little bit something else, but it's being more balanced and really feeling secure and taking a step in the idea of like, let me feel secure enough to build the next like step in the game, and not being like rash. Don't make rash decisions when it comes to your career. And yeah, that's what I got in here. um the next cards, you have the thief in reverse, misfortune, and sword and money. Okay, with the thief card in reverse, I want to say you will recognize a person who maybe tried or tries to profit off of you. You will successfully recognize that person and the realization will be crystal clear. I would say for this pile, I don't know with whom this is going to resonate, but let's go. Do not, please don't be super like aggressive or confrontational with that person to the degree where you know it's at risk with the idea of you being employed or not. This situation requires you to be very tactful. Of course, if this is going to pan out as I said, but it's urging you to not address things in a very explosive manner, because with the magician you have much more than um, it's not like worth losing like that thing. um, because of this thief in reverse and misfortune card and sword money could be as a result of this explosion, so I'd be really careful and very tactful. And if I find someone who is profiting or someone who's really negative, I will find a very discreet way to address the situation in such a way that I don't have losses, basically. Overall, the forecast for the next year is going to be one that is really fortunate as long as you keep yourselves in the, I don't know how to explain it, but in the frame. Like if you keep yourself, like if you keep your cool, because you have the magician card in this domain, which is very powerful. um, Keep out from situations with money, like seductive offers or ways to find quick money or ways to make quick money. Be long-term oriented, and really be especially careful with a person represented by the thief card, because you will know who that is. And before that person profits off of you, I feel like you'll have the opportunity and the upper hand to address this situation and prevent this misfortune or this chaos, or this could be an argument or something along the lines of you ruining your reputation if you're not very tactful about this situation, which I believe you can be, because the magician does have every suit in the tarot cards. And you have all it takes to bring this situation to a peaceful resolution, so much so that it is going to bring you more money. Like this is going to be saving your finances if you're going to be very calculated and smart. Like it's not about smartness, let's be honest. It's about keeping yourself like cool and seeing how the situation needs to be um, addressed and solved, because I feel like this is going to be a challenge. Like this could sound like a test, but it's going to be a test that you can go through and pass brilliantly. Like with this negative person, and this person is low. Like I want to say, this person is low. Yeah, and this person will have losses as a result. Like if you are very tactful, if you are very neat and um, calm in the situation, and you've got the upper hand, they will be the one to take back all the losses, all the negative things upon themselves, because it is going to fire back at them big time in this case. And yeah, I feel like a powerful person in here is going to be watching and deciding how they're going to go about you. I feel like you are very much aware either of the person or the situation, or at least you're going to be, because this is the message in here, and that you're going to be with the magician. Like this is going to be In the long term, this is going to be very easy. Like you'll see that you just have to be very clear minded and emotionally clear to deal with a situation. And I think this is going to be sparking a lot of pride as well. If you are going to be resolving this thing successfully, like first of all, for acknowledging that that person tried to take advantage, and the second of all, uh, you seeing how well you managed it, and this person just like it fired back at them, and yeah, it was really. Um, they will regret trying to test or to challenge you. Um, because it feels to me like with the tailor, nothing will come out of this situation. I think I repeated that for so many times, but yeah, you're way too complex to mess with. So you are more experienced. Like you could be a person who knows way too much than the person who tries to challenge you, and therefore this is not going to play well in their favor. So yeah, take it as it resonates. Next domain of life, money. This is going to be how much money you will have, and yeah, stuff like that. Hopeful and be obedient. Hopeful sparks a lot of good vibes, honestly. Hopeful says that there will be outlooks upon the finances and money that will be really making you happy, and you might have more money than you expected, or you might have more, like you might earn more money than you actually expected, or you'll come across unexpected money. There is something about this pile, speaking of publicity, and you have as well the Six of Wands, which for me, like this card is like the victory. There will be like a crossroads, there will be like a point in time where with the World card, either it is about you gaining publicity, either it is they've got like at work these types of gifts of performance, for example. And this could be the case of someone regarding you as being very successful or rewarding you with some sort of monetary like thing for your intervention, for your good work, or for your presence bringing success to the workplace that's related to money. And it's as though you will be like with the money aspect, especially in here, you will be given money. That's what I'm seeing. Or it's about all like recognition and recognition for making things work. That's what I'm seeing. Um, Falseness in reverse, and sadness in reverse. So sadness in reverse, awesome card, wonderful card. Uh, Fascinating because you've got this card like money will be in a good state the next year. Of course, not without challenges I have mentioned, but of course this is going to be a good outcome in here. You've got falseness in reverse, so I feel like more so a lot of characters in here are being represented. This could be people, this could be envy, falseness in reverse, discernment. I feel like you're going to see who are going to be the people that are basically envying you, or you could be in a situation of like publicity or recognition where some people are going to think or envy your position, your recognition, or your money. So I'd be really careful about my money. I'd be really careful about presenting or exposing the amount of money that I create. Yeah, that's the deal. I think it's a great combination of cards, and it's like the hard work paying off in the section of the money. Potential challenges the next year. Playful move. Learning to be more childlike. Learning to be more spontaneous, joyful. Unlocking your inner child. Knight of Cups, being more emotionally spontaneous and as well being more like playful, optimistic, and Queen of Swords, Justice in reverse, letting go. I think this has been covered in the center of the reading, but you have the moon flipped. Learning to see beyond your challenges, learning to see beyond your own biases and your own limitations. Queen of Swords, like this is liberating yourselves from this Queen of Swords energy and you feeling more soft, or that's not going to be for, like, you have to be really discerning and not abandon the skills, and you know what I'm talking about. Not abandon your skills, like not abandon what you have learned, because these things are very, very valuable. This is more so with yourself, like the relationship you got with yourself. Be more soft, be more gentle, or at least if it's really hard for you to do that, learn or intend to do that. Knight of Cups, it's like innocence, being more light, like especially out of the context of your work life, with your close people, with your close like loved ones. Queen of Swords, like you don't have to be strong in some situations. In some situations, you have to be soft. Justice, reverse, let go of some things from the past. Like let go, like at least let go in the moments where you relax and give yourselves the permission to feel different or to not think about things. You have the baby card, hope, um, lover, and voyage in reverse. I feel like you could be stuck on some situations, like as I said, from the past, or this could be in regards to your love relationship. This is completely fine, but you will learn to be more hopeful. You will learn to let go. You'll learn to be more like this, like baby card, like um, baby card, of course, like new beginnings, but this is like, as I said, um, refreshing your perspective, moving on, being more flexible, uh, not letting situations and experiences define you, and being more like, let's not expect things to go in the same way that they did in the past, and learning to be more open to the good outcome, and learning that in life, just as bad things happen, good things happen as well, and you don't have to be focused or hyper vigilant on things going wrong. Yeah, the Voyage card in reverse, like this, is more so you holding yourselves back. You holding yourselves back because you still somehow retain that um, stance of defense, even when it is actually safe. But it's fine. That's completely understandable, of course, because yeah, the person who's telling you that is especially resonant with this message. But um, learning when you need to trust and learning where you need to be um, tight and powerful and pushy, that's what I'm seeing in here. With the lover, it's like, I refuse to be vulnerable again. I refuse to let love into my life because I get so hurt. This is acknowledgement of your feelings and acknowledging and letting them go through you and not being stuck on them and allowing situations to reveal these negative emotions, passing through them and allowing like good things to come into your life again, and not restricting or not pausing your life just because I've had this bad experience, and it's okay to close off because that's normal and we all do that. But what I'm saying is, don't give up because an experience proved itself wrong, or just because a relationship turned out to be sour. Of course, I'm with the beliefs that whatever it is that is coming up in relationships needs to be addressed and felt all the way through, so you are like released emotionally from this pattern. But what I'm saying is, don't try to make it fit, or at least don't try to expect the same negative thing to happen. um, yeah, that's what I'm feeling like. Lots to say on this, but I guess I'll restrain myself from continuing on because yeah. Um, I think that's all I needed to say for this pile. I really hope it resonated for you. So like, comment, subscribe, and I really hope to see you in the future videos. Take care. Bye. Hello and welcome to reading Clear Quartz, people. The ones of you who've chosen this rock, of course. Let's start with the middle. The Smith. Um, Overthinking, taking action. A new romantic cycle begins in reverse and council of life. of light, divine orchestration, higher, wait, helpers in the subtle realms, okay, in reverse. So I feel like this is going to be the case of someone who wants to make it all work by themselves. Like, not kidding, this is what's happening. Like, I want to do it my own way, and I want to do it my own way, and I don't care who's going to intervene. I'm stubborn and I want to make it work no matter what. Okay, the smith, you'll be working on something very diligently, concentrated, and maybe this is more so like an warning of sorts to not be overly fixated upon the result. Don't try to make it work on your own. Accept help. Accept like this. I feel like this is going to be a little bit in vain that I'm saying, but I feel like the rough lesson you're going to go through, and yeah, this resonates like so well with me. It's like you're going to be a little bit faced with the possibility that maybe you have to work with people in general, and not necessarily like work and make it like successful on your own, because the result is going to not be worth it if you are not being able to share it, or if you're not going to be able to bring it to the other people of like of sorts. Okay, I feel diligence and I feel stubbornness. Like, that's big deal. Next year, I feel like there is going to be an opening. Whether you want it or not, whether you believe me or not, this is going to be. Uh, I feel like for this pile, you might be encountering like a dead end of sorts, and this is going to be making you change your perspective and the way in which you go about dealing and solving things. Yeah, that's what I feel, honestly. The Smith, this is crazy. Like, the work ethic and the power of yours to make things done or to dedicate yourself towards something, this is power. This is powerful things. But just as how good this quality is, in the next year you'll find that you'll have to work in tandem with other people. You'll have to learn to work together, or to make things not be as separate or individual as you would want them to be. And this will kickstart from the idea of a new romantic cycle begins in reverse. I sense, okay, I sense ego. That's completely fine. I sense I want to make things my own way. I sense I want to make it work first by myself, and then I will allow other people in, or I will not accept help, no matter how grave the situation may be. So I don't know why that's what I'm seeing, and there is a lot of dryness in this pile, specifically because you like somehow refuse to work together, or because maybe you felt hurt and as a result you decided to isolate. This is so much sparking like my own passion project, and I will not give it to anyone else. I don't know why. Council of Light in reverse, it's like the individualization, I don't know if that word exists, in a specific endeavor. And it's like the universe is giving you like, let's give them the time and the energy for them to play. But in the end, the result will sooner or later have to be shared to the world, to other people, or that you're going to run into a dead end because you'll feel stuck as a result of a new romantic cycle begins in reverse. Okay, I don't know what's happening, so that's like something out of this planet, but that's that's it. So it feels to me like Maybe it's not necessarily about the experience of you wanting to be alone, but maybe it's because of an experience that was very negative, or you found that in cooperation in a team, you were like overlooked or felt really ostracized or isolated or misunderstood and undervalued. And as a result, you decided to do things on your own. This next year, dear, this is going to change. And I feel like it's really merciful to give you the opportunity to make it on your own, to make it work on your own. But it is as equally as merciful to make it work and you not feel alone in it. So it feels to me like maybe this pile especially is going to be introduced to a team where they are going to be the leader of the project, or their idea, and they will be respected not as they were like disrespected in the past. I feel a necessity for more people and more teammates. Let's work together type of energy. Very stubborn. This pile, like, this feels to me like an inventor energy, because the smith, of course. And this feels to me very funny because it reminds me of, like, celebrities, or that's out there. Okay, inventors. They were really stubborn people, because no matter how much you try to reason with them, or the society try to reason with them that the thing that they want to invent does not exist, they had this in their mind and it worked. As a result, they knew that it worked and they created it. This is the energy that's coming up. And this next year will be about the flourishing of this project. Yeah, this is so specific. Like, uh, I wanna scream. This is so specific, so singular as well. But it reminds me that, you know, as genius as people are, they have just as a big of an ego. That's, take it metaphorically. If you don't like it, don't take it. That's the golden rule. But this is the case of a pile who's genius, but not, but being a little bit stuck at some point, and you'll be inviting the opportunity to refresh, still keep on doing what you're doing, but with more people. This time, not single, not alone. It's like this inventor needing some backup, needing some people to work together, or needing some instruments that need to be borrowed but from other people. That was crazy, but that's the deal. I cannot say it otherwise. In the love life forecast, the dry page and the dry race. Change your perspective, change your way in which you go about achieving stuff in the new year, because while having a lot of opportunities, man, this is not gonna work out if you're gonna go about doing the same things, or going about finding a partner. I will address it as alone than with, if you are in a relationship. Man, this is not gonna work if you are going to repeat the pattern, if you're going to repeat the strategy. Two of Wands. I feel like you'll come across a friend. Maybe this is going to be a romantic interest for you, but you will see that the value of the relationship is going to be much more higher, and as a result, you're gonna realize the value of the friendship. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Not kidding, you're going to find like a soulmate, but this is not going to pan out like necessarily, not necessarily romantically or not romantic wise. That's for the moment of like this next year. Follow up for more readings about what's happening or whatever, but this is not gonna look like a relationship at first, a romantic one. I'm just saying that there is high expectations from your end in relationships like romantic things and endeavors. You're not going to be given that. Instead, you're going to be given a person to be considered like a twin or someone who's really like getting you. King of Cups, like this representation, like everything grew, but this King of Cups died there, like, at the bottom of this cup. Delayed gratification. Expect things and romantic situations or romantic options to appear and to show up the moment you least expect them. And okay, this is crazy. Some of you will be losing friends, or a friend or someone will become an enemy of yours. Or this could be the case of a very passionate like situation with a friend where you either are friends, lovers, enemies, something like this. Like, I cannot lie, this is what I'm seeing. Yeah, there is going to be a commotion in here. Like, I feel like if you are on board with this type of stuff, yeah, if you like passion in the idea of like becoming friends, like hate love situations where you love someone and then you hate them, something along the lines of this is going to be about you. um because I feel like this person who's watching in regards to love, they don't like boredom, so you're going to be given lots of let's make things more fun, and this is the result of it. You will have lovers, enemies, like you will be very passionate about that, and it feels to me like maybe you'll have like a reconciliation, then passion, then again hate, and yeah, it's like a mix of things. It's like a I don't even know, like it's a salad of things, but it's all like playing on your emotions, and at least you feel like you're living, and that is King of Cups, like you're not alone and you're not bored, at least. That's what I'm seeing. Officer, letter. Someone wants to communicate, someone wants to come back from the past. This person is toxic because of the officer card. I hate this card. Um, Me and my friend, we were like, let's analyze a person. And this officer came through like, sorry, but this card is carrying my life. No, thank you. Um, Negative stuff. A person wants to go back and communicate, wants to reappear, but F them, like don't bother. Or at least if you want, you can. But I feel like there is going to be a let's come back and live happily ever after together, but this is not gonna be the best option. Yes. Yeah, friends to enemies, that's like what I saw from this pile. Okay, let's address if you are together with someone. Dry race, dry page, things are dry in your relationship. Um, Present feelings, cooperation with the person, with your loved one, but really like things being buried in the ground, underneath the surface. This is funny because, I mean, this is not funny, but let us say it in a way like as a phrase, because you might be having your partner to like be in the case of you, like, you love them, you get along with them, and there are periods like you can't stand them, and this is going to pan out. Present feelings, someone being someone being like emotionally attached or having feelings towards you, but behaving in a very strange way. Letter and officer. Let's say like for the first like two of wands. Okay. If you're with someone, two of wands. Like I saw this card as a cooperation or doing things together. But it's all like an apparent thing, like it's a facade of sorts. Like if you're with someone, it's like let's cooperate, but I know like we know we are not in a good space. Because you see these people are merged in this image, so it's like let's do things together, but I know like we're attached to each other and like I know we don't get really well, like we don't get along really well. um Delayed communication with the letter in reverse. There are lots of things that need to be communicated with both of you, and lots of sorting through emotions and triggers in this case. The next year will be very fruitful in the idea of like sorting things out with the person you are with and potentially upgrading the relationship if you are willing to go in and take on the full challenge and make it work no matter what. Um, if you want, of course, this doesn't have to be page journaling. That's what it's wanting to say. Good cards in the career. You have the pungent, Ace of Wands, Nine of Cups, and Sweetheart. The forecast for your career, I feel like is going to be a good one if you're not having a job with Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands. It's going to be, you'll find a job, you will find the desired like job. It is going to be a good choice. Nine of Cups, especially. This is going to be something that will resonate with you emotionally, and it's going to bring you the satisfaction and the happiness that is like in the dimension of like emotions. And there will be situations where you will work, but you'll feel like you are not necessarily working. It will be a pleasant exhaustion, or it will feel like the work that you're doing is really making you feel happy, and for some it will not be even like work. With a pungent, I want to say, if you were struggling, if you had like a very um, difficult situation with your career, with your job situation, it is going to be resolved because you have the ace of, like as I said, ace of wands. And with a sweetheart, this domain is going to be worked through in a very, very positive and happy manner, and emotionally it will be satisfying for you. um I think there is like an accent upon this specific area of your life being in order in this next year, or being more so in balance with who you are or who you want to be. Yeah. Let's move on to the money. You have the dazzling spy. You have the King of Swords and Six of Swords. King of Swords is in reverse. Six of Swords upright. You have the Fidelity in reverse and Death card. Dazzling. Dazzling in the idea of money and the idea of like finances. It's a very good card, I would say. Dazzling Spy says to cover and to hide your expenses, to hide the amount of money that you create, because I feel like you will have a lot of money in this next year. King of Swords in reverse can say that maybe you'll be having a little bit of a hard time um, to basically organize the money, or where do you want to direct them. But I would say be really calculated, cold, and strategic with your money, because maybe for this pile especially, you're not going to be really like used to or really confident with where it is that you need to invest or to place or to save up your money. That's what I'm feeling. King of Swords, like a little bit of a challenge in that domain, but overall, like expect some huge money to fall into your hands. Um, really careful about them as well. Don't boast. Don't show to the world that you have a lot of money. Really be discreet and silent about your money, about what it is that you are doing with them, where you are investing them, or it really is about investing and investing wisely. Fidelity in reverse. I feel like there are some people who have plans for your money already, and you have to be really careful. And, when the time comes for them to ask, either it is not their responsibility, or with the death card, I'm sorry, but I have already spent them on something. And that would be the best way out of this situation. Um, I feel like this pile will have to give off the impression like, I don't have money. I'm sorry. Like, I don't have it. Um, I'm sore on money. Like, I don't have a lot of money. All secretive with the spy energy. All very, I don't have to be official about how much money I create. That's what I'm seeing. Um, Six of Swords, it feels to me like with this representation, especially, I feel like you'll have to place your foot on the floor. I don't even know how to say it, but really being confident, assertive about your boundaries with money. If you have some people pertaining to the sum of money that you create, you have to be and find ways in which you're going to be protecting your abundance, or to find ways to invest and place your money in such a way that people are gonna be not so confident about asking you money. That's what I'm seeing. And really be careful. Like, I want to say, this is an energy of people from the close proximity who are going to be pretending to be close to you, but at the same time, they will keep an eye out for your money. And I would be really careful about that. I'll be really careful about the way in which I go about presenting how much money I have right now, where am I willing to spend it, and stuff like that. With the death card, I want to say, like, pretend you are poor for the people who try to extort or to find ways in which they want to profit off of you. That's what I'm seeing. Moving on to the aspect of the challenges. You have the ludicrous scientist, Knave of Cups in reverse, Eight of Pentacles, the Sun, jealousy, Judge in reverse, and Fortune in reverse. This pile as well is preventing their own happiness, their own fortune. I felt like this is the case simply because they overly complicate things. This is the card of like the Sun. This is the card of generosity, and you will learn to be a contribution somehow. This is as well comes like as a reminder for the financial aspect. Like, you will learn to like deal and invest your money, as well as find ways to spend your money in a very like leisure type of way. um, you have the ludicrous scientist, and I feel like you'll have to learn in life to not control everything, or you'll have to experiment and try new ways, um, despite them not working in the past. I feel like you'll have to explore new things like in a more forceful way, meaning that, for example, with this team situation, if it hasn't worked out in the past, it doesn't mean that it will not work out, like it will not work out in the future. No, it means that you just have to be more flexible in this case. This pile might be dealing with jealousy in the next year, with jealousy in regards to not only love but as well money, where the grass is greener on the other side, being less critical of yourself and the world. And I will say that you being critical of the world is actually a reflection of your own criticism towards yourself. And maybe you'll learn to be less of that. And yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I think with the ludicrous scientist, it's mm, you not being closed off from the world, and you not uh, feeling like the world is out there to get you. This is the energy that I feel. I think as well that you will be inviting more safety into your life, more openness and accessibility as well. Especially, you'll be finding ways in which you held yourself back. This is big time because of this, like fortune in reverse. Like it feels to me like this pile will have some realization about them, like about their own ways in which they went about creating things into their life and seeing where things were not working. For example, um, if you learn to be more attentive and vigilant, and maybe that tactic worked out in the past and it stripped you out of your spontaneity, maybe it worked out in that past situation, but you'll find that, right now in the present moment, it's not as beneficial as it was back then. And I sense in here like a more flexible foundation or more flexible outlook upon how I actually deal with stuff, and I don't have to be like stubborn in making things work in a specific way, or I will not repeat the same strategy that I did in the past with a situation. For example, um, if you dealt, let's give a vague example. If you had a negative experience with dogs, let's say that, and you're now projecting this experience upon all the dogs in the world, and you're really afraid of them. Like for this pilot, will feel like they will learn to differentiate and understand that not all dogs are a threat, and that, yeah, there are dogs in the world that are actually dangerous and untrained and, yeah, stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that I have to be defending myself from every single dog in the world and react as if they are dangerous. Like, it's a change of perspectives and an unease like that comes as a result, and you're learning that in life you don't have to be vigilant. That's the energy. And with that vigilance, with that like ego, with that identification with lack of safety, life, oh my god, I'm rambling, lack of safety, you will feel like right now you need to let go of that for you to feel like you live again, not for you to survive. So survival will be much in like less intensity for this pile, like Knave of Cups. Learning to have fun, learning to live again. That's the energy that I see in here. So I think that's all for the pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I want to see and looking forward to seeing you in the future videos. Take care. Bye. Hello and welcome to your reading pile number 4, Tiger's Eye. I will begin by addressing the center of the reading and the 4 consecutive spheres of your life in the upcoming 2024 year. And the first card you got is the Astronomer. So right off the bat, this card, as it appeared in the reading, it being in reverse, if your life was out of order, if you felt chaos in your life, and if you felt like your life was a little bit devoid of purpose, meaning, or direction, I feel like this card is urging you and is telling you that in the future you are going to be finding clarity and a new sense of direction. So this card and this pile reminded me of a situation I read from a forum, and there was a woman saying that basically all she asked from the universe is for things to settle and for it to basically get out the BS from her life and to show her the direction. And as a result of this intention, she said that all of the sudden things started moving in such an accelerated pace that she wasn't expecting the changes that came as a result to really happen, because it was a really like a betting thing of like, I'll be setting the intention and see like what's working or what's happening. And I feel like for this pile, either it is that you have already desired that, or you have already set the intention for this thing to happen. But I feel like the next year is going to be about rearranging the circumstances for your life to have meaning, or for it to have this order back again. Um, with the astronomer as well, I remember even reading the description of this card, and it was very closely linked to the High Priestess. Like, it reminded me of that card immediately, simply because this card is not usual. Like, it's very different from the other cards in the idea of the astronomer gathers and harnesses information not from the expected sources or not from the well-known sources. So that means you will be consulting your intuition, your spirituality in the next year. And it's going to be a fortunate example of, I have tried communicating with God and I have received a message. I would be encouraged to say that you have to try out the letters to God exercise, where you basically address a letter to God. Try that, very interesting. See how it fits for you. But I feel like you'll be needing, or you will have to establish in the next year, a connection to God or source, or this will happen on its own. And as a result, your life will start to be back on the rails, so to speak. I have in here, don't let pride get in your way and work through your fears, along the lines with what do you need to release. I feel like this is a situation with two people, like you being the first one and this person, and as if you are, either it be like this is a close family member, or you need to sort things out, and the next year will be about the peak in this situation, and you'll be releasing the situation, or with this what do you need to release, you'll find a peaceful resolution with them. I feel like with the pride thing here, that don't have to get in your way, I feel like specifically the voice of the intuition and the voice of the ego. The voice of the ego is much higher or much louder in volume, and you'll be having to discover ways in which you're going to communicate with your intuition way better. And as if the fears, like what do you work through your fears, like the voice of your fears are going to interfere and are going to cover up your genuine and authentic sense of intuition, or the voice of your intuition. This is a major year for sorting out things that are not working out for you, in the idea of like, how do I better like release my negative emotions or my negative expectations, so much so that my life is not about them and it's about the result, like it's about the experience and the pleasant surprises that I will encounter on the way. And this will happen as a byproduct of you listening closely to your intuition. Um, the Great Gathering, it's all coming together. Intuitive hits Soul Tribe. I feel like with this card, the Great Gathering, there will be a concentration of, let's say, metaphorical spiritual forces, meaning that you'll be more on track with your spirituality than you have ever been in the next year. And this is the card of, like, for me, it's a card of belonging, and you'll be finding connections. You'll be finding belonging in general, or you'll be finding a community. Like, you have been alone, your intuition or your path will be guiding you towards finding new people. The next card is Get Grounded. Empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature. So this feels to me like you'll be finding more compassionate, kind, and empathetic people. But this will be an equal reflection of your own like progression and the way in which you're going to process your past, the way in which you're going to be processing your triggers. And this will all happen, like as I said, as a byproduct of you setting the right intentions, communicating and establishing this connection with God, source, or universe. Because Get Grounded card, you see this person basically, like it feels to me like they are meditating. And as well, I feel like this pile is very spiritual and will be finding ways to be happy no matter what is the outcome, which is very powerful. I want to say this is not a very like material pile. Um, Only the trouble in here is that, making a difference and comparing, let's say comparing you from with the usual demographic, I feel like this pile has many more lessons to take on and to resolve, simply because they are so like on the track of like let's evolve and not be entrenched in the physical realm, which is very interesting, to be honest, because that's something you don't see every day. Let's be honest, like that's the reality of it. um Very spiritual cards, and many actually. For this pile I have like a whole 5 cards, because I don't know, they just wanted to show up, and you'll be having to deal with and go through a lot of emotional baggage in here. But this will be like a fortunate example of, it's like a labor, it's like a mother who's giving birth to a child. And I know the process is not like how can I know, like I know that I've read, but I know the process is not pleasant. But when the child is giving, like is being birthed into the world, the joy is so great that it covers up like this initial struggle. So this is more like a creative and inner transformation that you're going to go through. It very much reminds me of meditation and vipassana, where people experience really cathartic moments, and they are like stripped away from their ego, from the layers of pain, and like they forgive other people from the past, and it's like very intense retreat. And this file for some reason reminded me of them reconnecting with their spiritual side. Okay, let's go to the spheres of life, which I will begin by addressing the first, which is going to be your love life. You have the demanding, the King of Pentacles, and the House. I want to say this pile right off the bat, you are very demanding, perhaps in your standards to your partner. And this is not necessarily a bad or good thing, it's just mentioning in the reading. And if you are single, you might be encountering a King of Pentacles, and I would be really careful to say and to establish this, that you will be having to be really careful that you don't meet the same person with very high expectations and be very, very critical towards you. So I would be leaning towards like a more accepting and unconditionally loving like perspective in love, with boundaries, of course, but I'll find ways to do that so that I don't attract an equally like centered person around like high expectations. Maybe it's all right, because with this King of Pentacles, I'm a little bit worrisome because of this representation. But in general, the King of Pentacles is someone who's very stable, and you've got as well the House, which is very good as a sign. Meaning that this next year you potentially can meet someone with a very foundational person, but you'll just have to take care for them to not like impose and criticize you as a result. And you have as well in here the last card, loss in reverse. So it feels to me like it will not be a situation of loss for you, especially because it's in reverse. And this could be an earth sign that you'll be meeting, or this could mean that you'll be dealing or meeting a person in the maybe in the context of buying a house, for example, or at some sort of like business endeavor situation, because it's a lot about money in here. Like I cannot lie, King of Pentacles and House, like House for me signifies stability as well, money, because houses are expensive, and as well demanding, which says that somehow in your love life you will be more grounded, or you will experience a level of security that will come as a result of you finding this like King of Pentacles person. Really careful at the psychological aspect of like not imposing or not trying to criticize and measure and expect the person to be ideal, because you could be meeting the same person, and then when that happens it's not that like pleasant. Or it could be that the context of your meeting the person could be like related to money, finances, buying things. It could be as well, like as I said, buying a house, a very significant purchase as well. Or this could be business related, like a business partner or someone you interact with at work. Someone who's not poor, I want to say that, with the demanding as well, like King of Pentacles, this is someone who's not poor, this is someone who's not fixated upon necessarily like very spiritual stuff, but let's be honest, in the area of finances, they are doing fine. Okay, let's address this from the standpoint of you're with someone demanding. You'll be dealing with a person who might be very demanding. It could be financially oriented, or it could be, as I said, psychologically, meaning that that person can have a lot of expectations from you, and I'd better say that they lower them. Because it feels to me like you could be dealing with a very criticizing individual, or someone who's willing to, for example, judge and criticize you, not noticing that they are actually projecting things upon you. So as a hint, this could be as well like demanding. If you have, for example, if you're with someone and you have low expectations of them, remind yourself that you don't have to have these low expectations and hire them, basically. King of Pentacles could be talking about the nature of your partner, and this could be money related, or this person could be like financially fixated. Sometimes this person could be so financially or materially engulfed in their idea of progress, success, and money that they can forget every other like domain of life, including you, and that is a little bit worrisome. In general, with the house, it talks about foundations. I don't know, this could signify that this is stable, but this doesn't have to mean that this is necessarily good, meaning that this could be stable bad, but this as well could be meaning that it is a stable good, meaning that in the future, if you continue on with this relationship, you'll be experiencing a stable amount of what you have been already experiencing. And with Lost card being in reverse, I feel like you'll be more prepared or more self-aware of yourself and the other person in such a way that this person will be much better studied by you, and you'll be expecting things to happen in a certain way, and as a result you're not going to be surprised. The study that you'll be making on this person will make you feel more prepared and will indeed prepare you in the future for this next person's moves, because it feels to me like this person could be very predictable if you have studied them already, especially it being the King of Pentacles, meaning that you already have to know that this person is very materialistic. And as I've heard, like you have to first study the beast before you slay it. That's what I've heard. It very much resonated with this situation, and honestly, like that's the reality of what I'm seeing. In general, it is stability. Like I wouldn't expect things to change or to go south. It's, as I said, a good stable or a bad stable in the idea of what it pans out for you. Career, work life, job. Next sphere of life, you have bed. I feel like this is a fortunate card simply because it says, like, it reminds me of the Four of Swords, and it's like resting, or you having more open windows of opportunity where you can finally rest and feel at peace. As your work life, work will not be as demanding as it was, and with the Three of Cups, I want to say finally you'll be having like a very good, let's say, atmosphere with your work colleagues and unexpected joy. So I want to say you are not expecting it, but the work life is going to be so much more harmonious than you previously thought of. And this is going to be something like, as I said, like a surprise. You'll not expect it. You'll not like attach expectations upon this situation, but it is going to be very harmonious. Either it is because your work personnel, for example, will take on some jobs or take on some responsibilities, or your boss is going to take off some responsibilities off of you, and you'll feel much more refreshed, and therefore with the bed you'll feel like now finally I have some time for myself, good things. Like all the cards in here represent, like especially with stagnation, the bed, because the bed, like, let's be honest, it's not that type of stagnation where you need to be worried, because the surrounding cards are really powerful, and it could be the case that maybe in the past your work was really really demanding, but in this case I feel like you'll be given more time to spend on yourself, and this is going to be something that will be a good bonus to your work life. I mean, who doesn't want a break? Like that's the reality of things. And Three of Cups is as well a card of, the atmosphere at work is going to be so much more cooperative. And it's not like the Three of Pentacles where, you have to work and you cooperate. But with the Three of Cups, it's more so like a heart understanding between the people. And in the next year, you can expect that. Like you can expect this benefic atmosphere. What you sowed, you'll reap. That's the type of energy. And I feel like you'll be gathering a lot of very very good reputation from your colleagues, from your boss, and for some it could be that they're going to be even rewarded as a result of that, like with this unexpected joy. And it feels to me like this is going to be a situation where you haven't even thought about it, like you didn't have a reward in your mind, but you'll be receiving it either way. And this is going to be something that is really gonna surprise you in a good way, where you felt like you didn't even invest effort. It was just given. So lots of rest, lots of good atmosphere type of vibes, which I want to say. And it could be even people. Like the word could spread, like with with these butterflies and the snail in this card being represented. So it's a really really good card. This is great news actually for the job type of like scenario for you. Okay, money. You have the gentle, Seven of Swords, Knave of Wands, and Love in reverse. With the gentle, I want to say money will be stable, and you will not have like surges in, like you'll not have either too high of a spike in money, but you will not have like lows, like really low lows in your money, meaning that you will have a stable income and money will not be a problem in the next year, or at least you'll be having a greater degree of control or ease when it comes to finances with this card. Seven of Swords, I would be really careful and attentive towards the people who try to take money from you, or situations like offers or unwanted purchases, or situations where people say like, give me that sum of money and I will make you happy. That situation, that kind of stuff, I feel like there are lots of people on lookout for your finances, and you really have to be careful. With the Knave of Wands in here, I don't feel like you are unexperienced, and actually I feel like for this pile they know pretty well what's happening, especially because you got the Empress like back there. um you're not that person to be fooled with. I'm just saying that people out there, out of their own foolishness, will try to do that, or will try to find ways to profit and want to take your money. I would say be really non-emotional about your money in the next year and really guarded. Not in the negative sense where you are hyper vigilant and you're thinking about it. I think this pile has got it in the idea of like, I don't spend money like here and there. I'm really calculated, and this energy comes like, don't allow yourself to be caught off by surprise, because your money is your asset, and there can be inspirations, or there can be like some manipulation from people, as I said, who are interested in you spending a lot. And this is quite strange because I've gotten this pile a lot of people watching your money. I don't know why, but Seven of Swords, lots of eyes in here. Of course, the deck is all about like eyes, but honestly, like lots of eyes, and specifically in the money domain. So this is very weird and a little bit concerning, but I think this pile doesn't have to worry, since, I think you are pretty experienced, by the way. Yeah, with gentle, I want to say it's like it's a good omen to have this card in your reading, especially in regards to money. Not being wishy-washy when it comes to money, or being really serious about it. Again, I don't think this is a thing I need to mention for this pile. It's just like a reminder I guess, and not wasting it or not paying it or not leaving money on, like, not leaving money in places that are accessible, for example, or not feeling scattered around your money, or not investing in things that are not worth it or that are not considered really worth investing in. That's what I'm seeing. Challenges. The cereal. Not a cereal like the one you eat in the morning. No. Cereal is like reoccurring in this case, so I'd be expecting old lessons to resurface, but not because they're not healed, but because they come up in a new quality and they require you to be really attentive. I've gotten here the Empress card, and I want to say a thing. Many situations in the next year will try to kick you off or to throw you off balance from the idea or from the archetype of the Empress. Like a lot of things happening around you. Things will try to kick you off balance from this energy, and you'll be having to basically somehow like prepare yourself and keep yourself from going into that, like going into that lack of balance. You have in here constancy in reverse, thought, and widower. I would watch out definitely for exes, because the widower is someone who is basically not having like, it's like an old relationship, someone either you have cut ties with. I would be really, really hesitant to bring that person back if you see that this person is behaving in the same way that they did. Thought, it's the card of overthinking in the problem case of this challenges situation, and living more from the heart and not allowing your overthinking to take over. I think in here I have already discussed the constancy. Constancy, okay. Card, because it's my favorite card, because for me it represents the eye of God, and this card like reminds me of the God aspect. And for you, I want to say, don't feel like you have to figure everything out by yourself. Don't overthink. Don't try to organize every single thing into your life. And remember and ask yourself, um, did I orchestrate everything into my life? Or it happened somehow? Somehow the luck was given to me and it happened. And I would say, check your own like level or accessibility of your free will and how you function. And do your best, but don't try to control and orchestrate everything, especially with the thought thing and the spiral. This could be a for this pile, this could be a tendency to overthink or to be stuck in something, and this thing can throw you off balance or throw you from the Empress energy. And when you're thrown off balance in that way, and you do not embody this energy fully, then all types of stuff start to happen into your life that are making you feel uncomfortable, that make you feel like you're out of your zone and you're not in your own element. This is a reminder to place importance and priority upon your own well-being, and to expect that everything around you will sort itself out as a result of you feeling good and happy. What else can I say? Constancy in here, as I said, because it represents for me the aspect of like God. It's like connecting more with God, or connecting more with your spiritual aspect, whether it be for you God, universe, higher self, or something else, because there are lots of things. I want to say, you don't have to feel alone, or you don't have to make things mean that you are alone, because this pile I feel is more susceptible to that type of mentality when things get really rough. Yeah. And great spiritual lessons are ahead, which are going to yield and give you the like delayed gratification and the gratitude that you will receive as a result of you knowing that you have passed them, like you went through them. This is going to be, as I said, an experience which is going to be more so uncomfortable in the beginning, but at the end you will receive the insights, you will receive the knowledge, and you'll be happy that as a result of this experience you became who you are today, basically. and you are being very well represented by the Empress energy. Whether male or female doesn't matter in this case. If it is a male who's watching, you could be relating to the Emperor aspect. If you resonate with the Empress, that's completely fine because it's a very abundant, loving, and nurturing card, no matter who you are or who you identify with, in your case. So I think that's like all. I think I'm comparing to the other piles, and I don't want to make them like seem shorter or longer than the other ones. But I guess that's all. Like, I don't want to lengthen the message and say things that are not necessarily like. But it's all right. Like, that was all for your pile. I hope it resonated for you. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I really hope to see you in the future. Please take care of yourselves. Bye.